Hello, and welcome to Shop Franklin Supporting Small Business, where we talk about how we can promote, raise awareness of, and build community around Franklin's local independently owned businesses. My name is Sarah Mabardi, and today with me we have Mel Hamblen of Franklin Agway. Hey Mel, thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for asking me.
Of course. Agway is like the hottest thing right now.
It is?
It is. I don't know if you know that, but everyone's talking
Yay!
Agway. That's a good thing.
That's a really good thing.
So, in all honesty, I knew that Franklin Agway was there. I am not much of a green thumb. If anyone watches any of the Shop Franklin episodes, I think I say about 5 times that I kill everything. I have children and pets, so it's probably not a good thing. But I was aware Franklin Agway was there. But since you bought it not that long ago from when we're filming, there's just been so much talk about what's available and what you do. So thank you. People are noticing.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I think we bought the store in the end of March.
Mm-hmm.
It took us a long time to get there. And I think one of the reasons why we wanted to do that is really to connect to the community.
Mm-hmm.
We've lived in Franklin for 6 years. I get on the train and go into Boston every day to work. I get off the train, and then I get home, and then I have my chickens, and I have my garden and my dogs, and that's the kind. And make my own beer and make my own maple syrup and cheese and all kinds of stuff. But I didn't really connect to people, right? So. One of the things that really drove us was to have a better life and to become connected to people, but also to have kind of a hardware store for our lifestyle. That's what I call the Agway. It's kind of, it has everything in there that I want to be able to do all the time.
So my assumption is that you weren't taking the train into Boston to deal with chickens and livestock and fertilizer.
No, I wasn't. If I had, I'd probably still be doing that, right?
So what were you doing, and how did it go from that to Agway? So transitioning to more of creating, instead of having hobbies in addition to work, it's basically making work out of your hobbies, it sounds like.
Right.
So what had you been doing, and what was the big push to change?
Well, we, my husband and I both are in research. We're in research science.
Oh, really?
We met at Brandeis University. I was there for about 12 years. I did circadian rhythm research with Drosophila, basic science research, and then I moved to Children's Hospital, where I was in the hematology oncology lab, where we made mouse models of human cancer, and we studied cancer, how the stem cell changes into cancer and all the different genes that are involved in many different cancers. It was first it was blood cancer only, and then it became all solid tumor cancers as well.
Wow.
So I was there for 17 years. So I went on the train for 17 years. Now the train goes by the backyard behind the Agway, and I wave at everybody.
So you get to see every train. You're like,
have
have fun at work,
everybody.
Say hi to the desk for me.
That's right.
That's awesome. So a far cry from what you're doing now.
Right, but it became when I'd grow things from seed, and people would ask me, how do I grow things? Like, I'm a brown thumb or a black thumb, how do I grow things? And it's just like, I think a lot of people want this information. I think I use my science background to try new things all the time. Like in science, if we were afraid to fail an experiment, no experiments would get run. So that it's okay to fail, you just try again.
Yeah.
Right, and try again and again until you get it to work. So
I always tell my son, I say, sweetie, what is the best way to learn? He goes, make mistakes. I go, absolutely.
Right.
And practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes better and better. And that's something we routinely say in our house, because I want exactly that. You try something, because
you're going to try it.
Just like Shop Franklin. Go for it, because the worst thing that you're going to do is fail. The best thing you're going to do is make a difference.
Right.
And if you don't try, you do neither of those things.
And it's fun.
And a seed could become food, which is kind of cool.
Right. It does.
So you're doing this more and more, and then decided that this is what you wanted to do.
Well, I think, you get to a point where you need to do something different. A lot of people, it's not an easy thing to decide, okay, I'm going to change my whole life completely and do something totally off the wall, which most people are like, why did you ever do that? But my mother had a flower shop, and her best friend had a landscape architect's store. And when I grew up as helping them in the greenhouse and landscaping and working in the shop. So I have all that kind of background too. My husband's worked as a landscaper, and he worked at the zoo for a while, and we both like to do things.
Sounds like it.
And become a resource for other people who are maybe not quite as adventurous to want to go out and try something brand new and fail at it, but they want a little advice. And so we feel like we can be a pretty good resource for people like us that just may be a little timid, and all they got to do is try. And push people a little bit, and then they do something, and they're like, wow,
I can actually do this.
I did that. Like, I bet I could teach you how to grow stuff without killing it.
No.
I think I could.
Go check out my plant at the community garden. I'm gonna get a plot at the community garden
because my yard's a mess.
And then I went on vacation for 2 weeks. So I don't think those tomatoes are doing too well right now. But yeah, I think there is a huge community of people who are becoming more aware that they can be more self-sufficient. And also, as costs increase at the grocery store, as questions are raised over how our food is grown, where it comes from, conservation efforts around transportation costs of food, and time from I would say production, because it actually is almost like a food factory, but time from growing to when it gets to your door. And people are becoming much more aware of what they're putting in their bodies. As a household who has to be aware of these things, I am becoming increasingly aware of what I'm eating, and I am trying to visit all of our local farms and trying to make my own gardens, and that's where I could use some help. And also from the animal products. So I know that what Agway offers isn't just produce-based or fertilizer or plantings, but also animals. There's resources for animals, like you said, having chickens on hand.
Right, those chick days in the spring.
So tell me about chick days. It's not a dating thing. They're actual chickens.
More and more people are having their own, raising their own chickens in their backyard, right? To get
it's almost trendy.
That fresh egg.
Pottery Barn has an agriculture section now where you can actually order a chicken coop. It's a very nice, expensive chicken coop, and I think I'd have more blue-collar chickens. But
well, you don't want to make it so that the eggs cost you like $100 a dozen, right?
Exactly. I think that defeats the purpose. But no, people are getting more engaged with backyard agriculture.
Right, and we actually carry organic chicken feed. So if you want your eggs to be all organic, you raise your chickens with organic chicken feed. You know, there's all different levels of the feed. Maybe we have all natural feed as well.
And chick days is a period of time in the spring.
And in the spring, at the end of March through May, you can come into the store and place your order for chicks. There are different kind of egg layers, there's meat birds, you can get ducks, you can get turkeys.
And there's different birds that are more conducive to New England winters too, right? So you need to
like the Rhode Island Reds, and there's like different,
a little more hardy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it depends on where we get them, kind of like what variety is available, I guess. Yeah. And
do you get them from local chicken farmers? Or it
well, this year was our first year that we actually in the
That's
store,
true.
right? So we started.
You hit the ground running.
So we've been alive. We've been in the store for a little bit over 100 days. So that's like a really big anniversary, right? 100 days is pretty big, I think, in a lot of cultures.
Yeah.
Right? When babies are 100 days old, it's really exciting. So this is like we made it this far, but we started. They had already started. The previous owners had already had agreements with the chicken people. They're from, the hatcheries are in Pennsylvania, so they're not really that far away. And there were 2 different hatcheries that we contacted to get our chickens and ducks and turkeys. But you can get some turkeys next year if you want.
No, not happening. I'll try to keep all my family alive for now. I'll order a turkey, and someone else can raise it. It'll be delicious.
There are some minimums. You might have to get like 5 or something, but that'll be okay.
We can do a turkey share, kind of like a turkey CSA.
Yeah.
Community shared agriculture.
Yeah.
So for people who aren't into chickens and will not be having chickens in their backyard, Agway offers so much more for the home enthusiast around other things. Like I know you have beekeeping supplies, and that's fairly new. And you have even if you don't want bees in your yard, you also have the bees wrap, which is the alternative to plastic wrap for covering food and storing food.
Sustainable, reusable food storage wrap.
Yeah, I was excited about that, and I still haven't gotten into getting it.
I use one every day for my sandwich.
And it's just so much better for the environment.
You feel really good using it, I'll tell you, and it smells so good.
So if nothing else, run out and get some of the bees wrap. It is the next generation of food storage, and it should be the current generation.
It's made in Vermont, a woman-owned company.
Nice.
So I always like to support women-owned companies.
Yes, Franklin has a lot of them. Yes.
And we also have her shovels.
Okay.
And her spades, which are ergonomically designed shovels and spades for women.
Maybe I should get one so I don't get gardening injuries.
Get a blister, yep. And they're made by a woman-owned company in Pennsylvania.
Okay. And then you also have all the beekeeping supplies.
Yeah, beekeeping supplies.
And there's actually a large population of people in Franklin who have bees on property.
There are a lot.
I happen to know a lot of them because I have...
Because a few of them are in this store.
Yeah, a lot of them are in Shop Franklin, and also I have an affection for local honey for its health benefits, and I try to use local honey wherever possible. Yep. So it's great that you have that all in stock.
Well, that's one of the other things that I do is like not only like with my garden, but I'm a beekeeper too.
Okay.
So the reason why I wanted to have beekeeping and beer making supplies in the store is because most of the time the people who own those stores are busy doing other things, so that the store's not open that often, right? So you get like 1 or 2 days a week or a couple of nights a week and an afternoon. And so if you want to make beer and you need some yeast, you can't make it because the place is closed, so you have to get it online.
Yeah.
Right. So that was why I wanted to have the beekeeping equipment in the store, because when you work, they're really wild animals, and when you need something, you need it.
Yeah.
And usually, if the store's not open, you can't go get it. And we even had a beekeeper come to the store like at about 5:25 one night, full suit.
Oh gosh!
Right, had his veil on, his suit on. He had the smoker was probably still going in the truck because he smelled like smoke. And he's like, "I just need one thing." And he came in and got a new hive tool because he had must have lost it out in the field, and then went back to his bees.
Oh, how funny!
And that's why I wanted to be there, right?
To be accessible.
Right, to be this resource, right, for people to get what they need.
So it does amaze me how many things, because you even have pet food. Yes. So for your domesticated pet, so if you need dog food, you can even go to Agway. And there's a number of brands of dog food that you carry of the premium dog foods that you have in stock.
Yeah, we have Blue Buffalo and Wellness. Loyal, Nutrina makes a Loyal, but they also have a new Loyal Life, which is a grain-free food. And they have a cat food as well. People have been trying it. Our dogs are guinea pigs, the poor things.
No.
They've tried a whole slew of different things, but they love that one. There's a grain-free beef or chicken that they really, really like.
Yeah, and dog food's getting a little more exotic nowadays. My dogs eat better than I do half the time.
Yeah. And it's a little less expensive than the other well-known companies. So, and it's really good food.
And it's nutrient dense. It's actually good quality nutrient dense food.
Nutrina has a really good scientific background. They have a lot of scientists and nutritionists that work for them, and that's what they do, all the Agway grains and feeds. And so they work really hard to make sure that you get your animal, whatever it is, gets the right nutrition, be it goat, horse, pig, mini pig, rabbit, dog, cat, sheep, cow. I think I said them all.
I say a challenge for anyone watching. If
I meant everybody. I'm sorry.
Send me a message and let me know what pet you missed, and you'll win something. You'll win a guinea pig. I'm kidding. You really won't win a guinea pig. So for those of us, so you had mentioned the Agway line of foods. So Agway. Shop Franklin is about local, independently owned stores. But when you hear Agway, you say, "Oh, isn't that this national or this big brand?" That is what Agway was. So in the past, Agway was a franchise, and people fell under the Agway umbrella and used that. But 10 years ago, Agway fell out of...
They went out of business.
They went out of business. And then because of the enthusiasm for the brand and for the products that they offered, all of the Agway stores then went independent. So
Correct.
the Agway name is still there. So many people who may go to the Cape right now, we're filming in the summer, vacationing,
Right.
they'll see that at the Cape. So there's an Agway on the Cape. But as much as the name is the same, it's completely different ownership, leadership. So you do everything. So you're the
Right.
accountant, the marketing, the
Yes.
ordering, behind the counter, the hauling 50-pound bags of grain
Yeah,
and
I do
fertilizer
that.
and plants.
The hay is pretty heavy just right now, so I like try to let the kids do that.
Outsource that to everyone else. Did you see my injury? I try not to do much. Yeah, so you do everything. And that's what
Right.
Shop Franklin is about, is supporting those businesses who really do wear all the hats and finding ways to acknowledge that effort, that enthusiasm, that passion, which you so clearly have, to chuck everything out the window and say, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
So that I commend
Life
you
is
for
short.
that.
You
It
gotta-
is short. It is short.
You got to do what you want to do.
Yeah, and have fun with it.
Right.
So you remember that? What time do you get to work in the morning? Probably pretty early. With those. So 5 o'clock in the morning, probably earlier than that, getting shipments. Speaking of getting shipments, last time we spoke, you had just gotten a shipment of plants from a local grower for seasonal planting. So
Right.
people who were putting landscaping in, there was some perennials that had come in that you ordered from local growers, I believe. And you try to work locally and with plants that are not treated with any chemicals. Is
Right.
that correct?
Yes, we contact local growers, make sure that they do not use neonicotinoids on their plants so that they're bee friendly. Because I'm really passionate about it as a beekeeper. I'm just want to make sure that my bees are as healthy as they can be, and everybody else's bees. And so there's a few different. The Agway has a new grower. It's King's Farm in Townsend, Mass, we got all our vegetables and some of our annuals from them. And then we use Cavicchio's greenhouses up in Sudbury, Mass. And some of our geraniums were from Pioneer Farm, which is right over in Walpole.
Oh, not that far.
So we're like,
short commute.
and Charles River Farm is in Franklin, right? They use our growing media, so we sell them our growing media, and we buy their tomatoes. We sold their tomatoes and strawberries and beans and and stuff. So
it's a reciprocal
at the store, right?
plant
so it was
life
like
cycle.
Franklin, that kind of stuff, right?
We all know that. I like that. I like to hear that. So we've established that I'm not one to grow things. So what I'm excited about.
You can.
I can.
You can.
I can. You'll see later. I can because I can. You'll see that. So what we're going to do now is something that maybe I can do.
Yes.
Is make my own root beer.
Yes, definitely you can.
So
everybody can.
That's a challenge. So let's go check that out.
All right, let's do it.
Here we are in the kitchen, and we are going to use some science and some effort and make some root beer.
That's right. I get to boss Sarah around now.
She's made that clear a few times. She's just going to stand there while I do all the work.
I'm going to tell her what to do.
Fortunately, we'll be drinking her root beer that she made at the end, so if mine tastes awful, which it won't, because it's easy, right?
It's easy.
It's super easy.
And we won't know for a week anyways how bad it is. So it looks okay.
We'll do a follow-up episode. All right, so here we are. We have our tools. Now, what Mel did...
We're going to make this.
We are going to make root beer from scratch. And what Mel did prior to coming in today is she sterilized all of the equipment. So what she used was this product right here.
Yep.
And this one-step no-rinse cleanser. And Mel has kindly already done that, so she doesn't have to boss me around to do at least that step. And here we have our ingredients. Tell me what we have here.
Sugar, syrup, yeast, and then we need water. That's all it takes.
That's it?
That's it.
3-ingredient root beer.
Right, and it's champagne yeast, so it makes really fine bubbles.
Oh. So that does say
And no alcohol.
pasture champagne yeast and no alcohol.
Yeah.
Can we get the one with alcohol?
Well, we could use beer yeast if you wanted.
Okay, so that's good to know. Next episode
But this is
we'll be
summertime,
making beer.
something you can do with your kids, right? So it's not
Perfect.
You might not want them to.
All right, so it begins. Mel's about to boss me around, so I'm just going to stand here and do whatever she says.
Okay,
Step
so
one.
the first thing we want to do is we want to dissolve the yeast in some warm water. So I want you to put in a cup of warm water. So get some water. It doesn't have to be exactly a cup.
Okay.
In here,
So
no,
about
don't.
and that's
You don't
already
want that
open.
yet.
All right,
You
it's
don't want
already
that
open.
yet.
And I already washed my hands.
This is really fun. I have my thermometer because we don't want it over 110 degrees or the yeast will die.
Oh,
Right,
that's
so we're
good
going to check the thermometer here. And
On the bottom left.
all right, it's a little hot. All
I
right,
killed
so try it
the
again.
yeast.
So try it again. I'm glad I brought this.
I told you I killed things.
Lukewarm.
All right.
Well, that's okay. We have this so that we can. Okay.
I killed the yeast. All right. So let's try this again. It's still warm.
Still too hot.
All right. I'm blaming the sink.
You need to feel the water maybe, and then you can. You know, lukewarm, right? So it's not. It just feels warm. We
So
got it.
not
I think we
quite-
got it now.
Not quite hot tub temperature.
No.
102.
102.
102. The
Awesome.
yeast can live.
Okay, so leave it there.
Okay.
Get the spoon set. So for a gallon, we're gonna make a gallon of root beer today, and we want either between 1/8 and 1/4 of a teaspoon of yeast.
Okay.
So
Between 1/8 and 1/4.
you can do either one. For the stuff that we're gonna try today, I did 1/4 of a teaspoon.
Okay. Now, does that affect the fizzy level?
Yes.
Okay. So you can't screw it up. There'll either be less fizzy or more fizzy.
Right.
All right. So I
So
like
you
a little
decide.
fizz.
All right, there you go. You get to decide.
I want to make this as fizzy as possible, but we'll stop at 1/4 of a teaspoon. All right.
All right, and then water.
Okay. All right. Put it in the water.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna let that
So there's
dissolve.
plenty of left in here. So
There's a lot in there, yeah.
This little packet will make a few gallons of root
it's
beer.
already. This is the second gallon that packet's made.
Okay.
You can
There's
just.
plenty left.
There's plenty in there. Yep. You
Okay.
can do all kinds of things with it. I know you want to stir it.
I
You
do
could
wa- I
tell-
do wanna
I could
stir
tell.
it.
You could stir it a little bit because we want that to dissolve. See how
Okay.
it's like
It's floating.
it's floating. Okay. So while that's dissolving,
Okay.
you're gonna take, since we're gonna make a gallon, we're gonna take this this gallon container. That's easy to measure, and put maybe half a gallon of that lukewarm water in there.
Okay. So again, make sure it's not too hot. No
Right?
hot
We
tub
don't want to kill the
temperature.
yeast when we put the yeast in there.
So I'm filling this halfway or to the top?
Halfway, because we're gonna add our sugar to it.
You're making
we're
me
gonna
really
dissolve
nervous
it.
here because these are all estimates. I think I'm a baker.
that-
I'm a baker
Isn't that
versus
fun?
a like.
It's really, you just need to relax. When you make homebrew, one of the things is like, just relax and have a homebrew, right? It's okay. Everything was gonna work out fine.
I'm like shaking. I'm sorry. Watch, we're gonna take the temperature.
All right, that's pretty good. All right, let's take the temperature just to make sure that we're not gonna kill the yeast.
So 90, 91.
That's good. Okay.
That's good. So it's not
So-
too cool.
Nope, we're good.
Okay.
All right, so now what I want you to do is I want you to put 2 cups of the sugar into the water.
Okay. Using this Pyrex.
Yep.
I'm gonna get exactly 2 cups. No estimates here. My OCD is kicking in. It must be
No,
exact.
that's the fun part. It's okay.
I'm not fun.
You can actually make root beer low calorie and with less sugar as well.
That's
This
a great
way?
point because this is a lot of sugar.
It's a lot of sugar, but the yeast needs 3 to 6 tablespoons of sugar for a gallon to be able to make its carbonation. So you put 6 tablespoons of sugar in for the yeast, and then put some kind of sweetener in it if you wanted. Some other kind of sweetener, like stevia.
Agave or stevia or honey.
Right.
So that's a good point. So the sugar that we're adding is, so the yeast the amount can be variable because it affects the fizziness.
Right.
The sugar, as long as you have that minimum threshold, anything above that is for the sweet factor.
Correct.
So you can really adjust it to taste.
Yep.
All right, that makes me feel a little better that there's logic behind it and
Isn't
not just freewheeling Mel doing
No.
whatever she wants here.
Well, that does happen.
That does happen?
All
All right, how are we feeling
That's
with?
fantastic.
We have 2 cups there.
Okay, so
And
now
then-
you can use the funnel if you'd like,
I'm gonna use the funnel.
so you won't spill any.
I'll spill everything. My confidence is so high right now.
You're doing great.
All right.
You're gonna be like, I can't believe I made this.
I see. I can.
I can because I can.
Because I can. My sister
We
and
can
I
all-
say, just figure it out. You'll just figure it out.
Yeah, see? Does she say that to you?
Yeah, we basically just talked about that for the last 2 weeks. How we're very much just figure it out. Hit an
Yes.
obstacle, just figure it out.
Well, yeah, so
You
just
have
figure
to.
it out. Relax, it's okay.
This is root beer. This is serious. All right.
All right, I shouldn't have given her this job to do. You can do it. Just dump it in there. Come on.
Living on the edge. I poured it all in. All right. Well, it's a little funnel.
I know. Well, you
It's
don't
fine.
even need to put the funnel in there, but it's okay. You're doing all right.
Less cleanup afterwards, because you know.
Well, you don't even have to put all the sugar in if you don't want.
That's true. Let's live on the edge.
See?
I'm not going to put those few little drops in.
Okay.
We're good.
Awesome.
Okay.
Here, put the cap on and shake it around a little bit. Don't spill it on anything. So what she's trying to do is dissolve the sugar.
Do you see the Charlie Brown dance? Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, pretty close.
Is that good? Is it shaken or do I have to shake more?
Oh, is it dissolved? Look at it. What do you think? Look up. Look in the light. Look it up. Does it look good? Yeah, it looks good. Okay.
Yeah, that was fast.
All right. So now get the root beer syrup out.
Okay.
All right. And we want a tablespoon of the syrup, but what we're going to do, but you have to shake this a lot first.
Okay. No dancing.
Right? Oh, you don't want me to dance.
She makes me do all the work, but she won't dance. I
We
see
might
how
need to
this
put.
works. All right, I can do this. Thank you.
Oh, the two of us together. It's scary.
We're gonna have our own series.
Yes.
Next
Okay.
up, beer.
There you go.
1 tablespoon.
Yep.
All right. Now we talked about how the sugar can vary. We can talk about how the yeast can vary. Can this vary?
I would not vary that.
All right. See, now she's getting serious when it comes
There's
to root beer
always a
syrup.
step that you have to do the right way.
All right. Otherwise, you're gonna be a little over root beered. All
Yeah.
right. How's that look?
That's awesome.
All
Now do you want to use the funnel to put it in?
Yeah, because you know I'm gonna spell it.
Yeah. This is the step you want the funnel.
You don't know. Now it's really thick. So
It
that's
is
really
thick.
So,
It is thick. But if you notice, we don't have all the water in there yet.
Okay.
So you can actually put some water in some warm water in the cup
Okay.
and rinse it off in there. Because we have to
Perfect.
fill it up to the gallon line.
Okay. So is that why we only did half a gallon, or just to
Yep.
start out and get it going? Helps it dissolve because it's harder to shake a full gallon of.
Well, because we have things to add to it, right? So,
We want to make sure we have room.
yep.
All right. So far in this jug, we have warm water,
Yep.
sugar,
And now,
root beer syrup.
yep, I'll cover that up so you don't knock it over. Oh, good. And here's your yeast
Oh,
already
you have little
dissolved.
faith. And our dissolved yeast that's just been hanging out.
Yep.
All right. I'm being very careful.
You are very careful. Very careful.
I wasn't a scientist. I didn't do this all day.
Well,
More warm water?
yep. So now what we want to do is want to fill it up to the gallon line
Okay.
of warm water. So
So when doing this, do you do it in a gallon jug like this? Does that make it easier, or do you have?
it's very easy to do. If you're gonna do a gallon, I use this.
Or having
A lot of
gallon
times
pitcher?
if I'm gonna do more, I have my brew pot here. So I use this to brew beer in too, but
Okay.
it has numbers on it so I can see how many gallons
wow,
are in
okay.
it. And I'll just mix it in that.
All right. So I'm making sure that I'm still going with lukewarm.
Yep, you can use the 2-cup one if you wanted to do more.
You're getting impatient with me, aren't you?
Yeah, can you tell?
She's like, can you do this more quickly? I'm gearing up for an 1.5 hour long episode here. All right.
I can help you if you want.
No, you said I had to do it all myself. I'm gonna learn.
Yep, you can do it.
All
You can do it. While you're doing that, I'm gonna get this out of the way. I'm gonna bring the bottles over.
All right. So we've already pre-sterilized, when I say we, I mean Mel, has pre-sterilized bottles for us. All right, you got a little bit more.
Gonna open them up, and then you get to use the funnel and fill them up. And you can use any kind of bottle. You could use a 2-liter soda bottle if you want with a cap still on it. It will still make a seal so you can build up the carbonation inside the bottle. You could get the small beer bottles in a capper and cap them yourself if you want. I mean, I have all kinds of stuff.
With a tight seal.
Yes, it has to have a tight seal or you won't get any carbonation.
Okay. Do I shake this at all?
I would rock it back and forth.
You don't want to shake it because then it might get a little too...
Yeah, you don't want to.
A little too edgy, a little too shaken.
Well, we do have
our smocks
on, so you could shake it if you want.
I'll be gentle.
You might not want to get covered in root beer. It might be a little sticky.
Yeah, I have kids. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
All right. All right. With the clear glass so everyone can see the beautiful color here.
Well, yeah, and you want to do maybe 2 inches down. It doesn't really, it's okay if it doesn't fill it up all the way. If you overfill it, we make a mess, it's okay, right?
So right now it just looks like flat caramel colored liquid.
That's right.
And then
and the champagne yeast in there is going to create...
Is that a little too full?
Carbonation. Yeah, it's a little full, but... So it's going to be naturally carbonated. And it has... In the bubbles, you'll see, the bubbles are sort of are smaller. They're not quite as... They don't bite your nose as much as a CO2 carbonation.
You can smell it. So those watching can't smell this, but it actually has that distinct root beer fragrance wafting.
So what
smells really sweet and good.
What Sarah's gonna do next after this, she's gonna this should stay up in room temperature for 3 to 4 days.
Oh, okay.
Then it goes into somewhere dark and cooler, like a basement, for another 3 to 4 days. And then you can drink it. Then it will be carbonated.
So let's repeat that. So after we did these steps with our 4 ingredients, then it goes into, so it stays room temperature on a counter.
3 to 4 days.
3 to 4 days.
Anywhere.
Then in a basement.
3 to 4 days.
Dark and cool for 3 to 4 days.
Then throw it in the fridge, and this is what you get.
Then how long is it good in the fridge for?
I would say, well, that's a good question. That's a good question, but it's got enough sugar in it that it's not going to go bad. If you open it, you might lose some of the carbonation. It will still carbonate a little bit, the yeast in there, but it'll go flat after a while.
All right. Well,
you want to try some?
Why don't we open it and try some? That was just mean. And that's what happens when you open it.
That's what happens. That's natural carbonation. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful thing?
Could have warned me.
I told.
There you go. So that's what happens.
That's what happens. Yay! Let's get a glass. It's like champagne, right?
It is. You know, in honor of this festive occasion, I'm going to grab a Franklin Liquors glass, who actually taught me how to open champagne.
Oh, beautiful.
Mark, I apologize. I was probably pointing that at someone and didn't do it properly.
And look, there you go.
Thank you very much. And since we only have 1 glass, I'm going to try it.
Try it. Well, you have to try it.
I like it. Good job.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad. Even everyone at home can do this.
Everyone can do this.
All right, so hopefully everyone at home will try this. It is delicious. 4 ingredients a week. Easy.
Easy peasy.
Thanks for watching Shop Franklin. Enjoy.